Okay, good. Now we're good. So let's get started. Yeah, regarding the curriculum, for part one, we will learn HTML, CSS, just the basic stuff, nothing crazy, so that you will know why we need to use it. Then the JavaScript, because we cannot simply start with JavaScript. Otherwise, there will be some parts that will be missing because JavaScript maybe in some way appeared because of the HTML and CSS, but we will talk about it just like in a couple of seconds. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question. I'm open to it. Okay, no stress on this one. Good. Let's begin. Good. Thank you, Dennis. Let's begin. So, why we actually, if you are taking like the very first question that you might be asking yourself, why we actually need uh, the JavaScript, right? Because I believe most of you were interested in key manual only, right? Or in key position. How is like, let's say JavaScript is related to the to the key to the QA, right? Because from your understanding, I may assume that you thought that QA is more about like checking the bugs, finding the bugs, and so on and so on, right? But in order to do it, or let's say in order to evaluate those kind of the results, like finding the issues and the bugs, you need to understand the code, because it's just like simple reading. You have to know the letters in order to combine them and read the whole text. That's why since let's say, yeah, in most of the cases, maybe like in 90% of the cases, or 90% of the cases, you will be testing, as a QA engineers, you will be testing the websites. Some of you may test the mobile devices or maybe something else. That's okay too. But in most of the cases, you will be somehow related, your job will be somehow related to the web. That's why we need to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That is why, those three, let's say, I cannot say that JavaScript language and HTML and CSS, though those three components, they will definitely help you to find your job. Because nowadays, knowing the concepts of the QA, like, finding the bug and stuff, is not enough right now, because your future employer wants you mm, to understand the simple coding, and there's for sure the career growth. You won't be doing like, let's say, key manual position for rest of your day, because you want to develop your skills and so on and so on. So I personally think that key manual position is the best position so far in IT, let's say, to like to get familiar with IT. Once you, for example, say, get familiar with QA, now you can be something, I don't know, better. Let's say QA automation engineer, and then maybe SDET, and then maybe manager, and so on and so on. So, but you basically will start with QA manual position. Good. So now we finally answered the question why we need HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. As for right now, let's just answer the following question. What is HTML from your understanding, and CSS? Does anyone want to help me with those terms? How do you understand HTML and CSS? Not JavaScript. Let's talk about JavaScript later. I'm interested in only in HTML and CSS, because I heard some of you are familiar with HTML and CSS, right? So feel free to unmute yourself and just share your knowledge, guys. Like,
With HTML and CSS, we can create web pages. We
mm-hmm,
create like a static web pages only. With JavaScript, with Java, we can create it more. Uh, I'm sorry for my English, like more. Uh,
Mhm.
impressive, more like let me find the word. So more complicated, I think,
Mhm.
more complicated web pages or applications. Indeed.
Mhm. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I take this answer. This is a good answer. So basically, as Denis mentioned, HTML and CSS, we need those guys in order to build the websites. And before, let's say maybe like 10 or 15 years ago, or maybe more, I cannot say for sure, like, all the internet was built only to display the information. What does it mean? For example, back in the days, you were able to only to display the information. For example, the train schedule. For example, what else? What can we say more? Like maybe phone books, those kind of the static information. But with help of the JavaScript, we made the websites dynamical. That
Dynamic.
means that,
Yeah, this is
yeah.
the. I'm sorry that interrupt you.
No,
Dynamic.
yeah. So basically, we started, interfere with the interface. That means that we were able to send data and to get back data. We were able to, for example, with we were able to buy stuff from the internet. We were able to add our, I don't know, credit card on the internet, and then do online shopping or buy tickets, or what else can we do, upload the photos, I don't know, meet new people, chat with people, because before that we were able only to read. Now we can type and see what we just typed on the internet, on our website. This is how it looks like. And I do like that analogy that, if we talk about the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, imagine that the HTML is just like, a house with no color. There is like nothing on it right now. It's just a plain white, there is like a white uh, mm, right, like a sketch, like there's like nothing on it. If you add some CSS will be the one who's responsible for the styling, or in our case it will just basically say how the house should look like, what color are the walls, what color the windows, maybe just the chimney, the doors, the grass, and so on and so on. But with help of the JavaScript, you can make it dynamical. That means you can draw the clouds which will be moving, or the smoke that comes out of the chimney,
Or the
or
plumbing in your house. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. So basically, all that stuff, all the actions will be related to the JavaScript. Thank you very much, Landra. Yeah, so this is how, what is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript all together. So, and if you thought that today will be like, let's say, me more talking, no, you are wrong. I want everybody to go on the following website. Oh, actually, before doing so, I will share my screen. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Yes, you are, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to CodePen.io. So I'm going to this website, CodePen.io, and I want everybody to click on the link that I shared in our Slack channel, CodePen.io. And if you click on it, this is how it looks like. You can sign up and log in. If you do have like account in CodePen, that's fine. I suggest you just sign up. And if you do not, if you do not sign up, if you have, just simply log in. For that, I will give you like a couple of the minutes. Okay. Let me know if you need more time, because I don't need to create an account here. And actually, while you creating an account in CodePen, I will tell you what it is, right? So that it will make more sense to you guys. So the CodePen, I personally believe this is one of the best platforms to learn HTML and CSS. let's keep the JavaScript for right now because we will be doing or we will be learning the JavaScript on the next lecture. Today, we will be more focusing on HTML and CSS. I will be showing you what you can do with HTML and CSS, and you are welcome to repeat after me. Good. So this is one of the best platform for getting familiar with HTML and CSS because we don't need to install a bunch of the tools on our computer in order to get start right away, right? So everybody has internet, I believe so. This is how you connected to this meeting, and I believe everybody has a computer, which is fine, so that you will be able to join this website. So again, it's free. We will be practicing HTML and CSS. So this is how it looks like. Once you be signed in, you have to click on the new code like pen over here. And this is how your user interface should look like. This is what the expected result is. So basically, you will be having three side windows on the top: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. I will give you some time before you complete the registration and click on this window. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. Fortunately, if you raise your hand, I'm not able to see it, but I can hear it. So just again, if you have a
Can-
question, just
Yeah, yeah,
unmute
yeah.
yourself. Yeah. Go
Can
ahead.
you repeat? Can you repeat what do we have
To do.
to do? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you go step number one, you go to our Slack channel, you find this link over here,
Yeah, yeah.
CodePen.io.
I
What
sent. Okay, I just signing up, and what I have
to
to
do?
do?
Okay, from that point, once you complete the registration, you have to click on the pen, and then basically you have to click on the pen, and that's it.
Let's
S-
go. Okay.
Okay, so this is expected result, how it should look like on your computer right now.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look the same? Or does it look the same?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Let's just give a couple of more minutes, guys. If you need more time, feel free to say that you need more time. Okay, let me just check on the boards. Can we do some emojis over here? I'm not sure. Okay. And of course, once we complete our, let's say, part number one in our curriculum, we will be using the actual software that everybody uses. For example, we do use the same exact software. For example, I'm talking about this tool. It's called Visual Studio Code. This is a place where we will be coding, and it's like a code editor, and we will be working there. But we will be doing it in a little bit later or a little bit later. The reason for that is just because, I don't want to overwhelm you with tons of the information. The point is so that you get started right away and get familiar with the coding, with HTML, CSS, and before we start learning the JavaScript. This is the whole point. We start with something simple and then we proceed to the, let's say, more complicated stuff. This is the way how I teach people. Okay, cool. Guys, does anyone need more time? Otherwise, I will just proceed. Okay. Alex, what about you? Let me just randomly ask people.
I'm
Alex
uh
J.
I'm signed on right now. Everything is good. My screen looks just like your screen. I'm trying to figure out if I should do a split screen to see both screens or just go and listen to
Uh-huh.
your voice while I'm
Okay.
watching my screen.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. Thank you very much. Tina, how are you doing? Uh, okay. So nice to meet you, Tina. You were a little bit late. I'll tell you what's happening right now. Right now, I'm getting, or I am trying to show one of the project that we will be doing today, and how to do it. The step number one, you go to our Slack channel, and then click on this link, CodePen.io. Once you click on this link, you will be redirected to the following website. How it looks like, it should be over here, the CodePen. I want you to sign up if you don't have an account, or if you do have an account, just click on the login button. Once you complete the registration, you will be prompted to the following UI. From here, I want you to click on the pen, and that's it. This is what the expected result, or how it looks like. So, good. Feel free to ask any questions, Tina. Okay, let's proceed. Let me ask Maria. Maria, Kay, do you need more time or you good?
No, I'm good. I'm in.
Okay, cool. Cool. Olga, what about you?
I'm good. Thanks.
Okay, and the last one, for example, Tom.
All good.
Oh, good. Okay, so this is how UI looks like. So the very first thing that I want to ask you guys, let's do the following operation, because I personally think that this is not the best layout so far, right? So how can we update the layout so that everything will look more attractive? So how to do it? If you find the third icon, 1, 2, 3, the third one, it says, if I hover over it, it says change view. I suggest you to click on this icon and then select the right option or the left one, either or. It depends actually if you are left-handed or right-handed. I personally prefer the right button. So if you click on it, this is how your UI will look like, or let's say layout, where on the top you have HTML, then you have CSS, and then the last the last one is JavaScript. Okay, good. So the next thing that I want to do, say it again.
Can you go over that part for me, please?
Sure. So once again, it was like this. And if you find the third button over here, it says change view. Do you see it? Oops, sorry. Do you see it now? Is it better now? I don't know. I zoom in a little bit. So the third button over here, change view. And from here, you have to select the third option. 1, 2, 3. The search option, like this. And this is how your UI should look like.
Yeah, I'm getting the change view, but it's not giving me the options to change it up.
Do you see that model window over here? Change view, those 3 options. Do you see those options?
No.
No? Okay, let's try to see. Would you mind sharing your screen so that we can help you?
Hold on, give me 1 minute.
Yeah, my screen has some writing on all 3 squares also, and I hit the change view and it's not giving me the option also.
Okay. Let's try
Yeah.
to help Hakim, and then I believe the solution should be the same for all of you guys. So come back to the code.io.
Yeah, that's what my screen looks like right now.
See,
Okay.
what
I think you need to create a new pen.
No, exactly, yeah. So you have to create a
Yeah.
new pen.
Click the little smiley face.
click what?
The little smiley face on your right.
Oh,
And then new pen. Leave page.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
all right. Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom. Good job. What about others, guys? Did it help?
Yes.
I was
Okay.
stuck there as well.
Okay. Well, I believe they added this recently, so that's good to know. Thank you very much, Tom, I will keep that in mind.
I'm sorry, I'm not able to
Now,
get there.
okay, share your screen. Let's try to solve your problem.
Uh,
Do you know how to screen your screen, Tina? No? So basically, let me share mine. So as you can see, okay, cool. Now, as you can see, I believe there are a couple of the buttons over here. The first one, mute, then the video, then turn on captions, then raise a hand, and the third option. This is the option that you want to click over here, like a square with an arrow. So you click on it,
There.
yeah,
Entire
and then you want to select the entire screen.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, now go to click on the link that I shared with you. If you open your Slack,
Who's the
do you have Slack installed on your computer? Oh, the chat. Okay, I will send it there. Hold on. I will send it here in this chat. I believe we can save some time if we do it here. Good. This one. Yeah, just click on
Okay.
this link. So sign up for free. I know it's all up to you. Sign up with email if it's better. If you scroll down, yeah. Okay, scroll down and then agree, choose a password, yep. And then submit. So password should include uppercase or lowercase. There are basically some rules. Okay. Cool. Hold on. I just wait. Yeah, it's a little bit slow.
Sorry, it's my computer.
No, I believe it should be fine. It's just slow. Okay, what we can do, click on that smiley face, the blue one, right upper corner.
This,
No, the right one. Yeah, click on it and click new pen. Yeah, this one. Yeah, left click. Okay, here you go. Now from here you can click on the third option over there on the button. Save settings, and next to the settings there is another button. Yeah, this one. Yo, click on it. Okay, and select the right option or the left one. It's actually up to you. Yeah, this one. Here you go. Now we are on the same page.
okay, thank you. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Stop sharing. Cool. Now let's proceed. Your entire screen. I'm going to share my screen again. So now, before actually starting coding, what we want to do, guys, we want to click on the settings, not the settings, hold on. Click on the save button, and from save button, once you click on the save button, you have to make sure that your autosave is enabled. Do you see this option? So click on the save button again, click on the save button, and once you click on this button, you will see that, I don't know, reverted the chevron sign, right? So or basically click on this arrow and make sure that autosave is enabled. This is how we can protect ourselves from, let's say, unexpected closing this tab. If you close this tab, don't worry. Once you come back to the CodePen IO, your pen, or let's say your work, will be saved on the CodePen. So that's why you don't have to worry about it. But before doing so, make sure that your autosave is enabled. It's very important.
No, I'm sorry. If I don't have any up arrows.
Oh, just this arrow. I don't know.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
arrow.
I don't have this.
Do you
I
have you
I don't
okay?
have this.
Did
Yeah,
you click
I
on
only
this?
have the save button and that's it.
Click on the save button first, and once you click on it, this arrow should appear.
No, not
No?
yet. No. Yes, of course. On the white screen. If I click on the white screen, it appears. So it's automatically enabled. I
Yeah.
think this like automatically.
Okay. Okay.
Default.
Default. Okay. Good. Guys, does it work? Like, or you need more
Yeah.
time?
It works.
Okay. So let's. If you do, you need more time.
Working for me also.
Okay. Okay. Let's just ask one more person, maybe. Let's ask DS. DS, what about you? Does it work for you? DS is not responding. Okay, let me ask, for example, Pete. What about you? Does it work?
Yes, everything's fine.
Okay, cool. Let's proceed then. So we don't need JavaScript. So what you can do, you can just drag it and then move it on the bottom because we won't be using it. So for today only, we will be using HTML and CSS. Again, HTML will be the structure of our website, not of our website, but every website. It's very important to start with HTML because CSS will tell your browser how your website should look like, but the main concept or the fundamental stuff comes from the HTML. Some people like the following saying that the HTML and CSS and JavaScript, those three components all together, they're just like a human body, where HTML will be a skeleton, CSS will be the skin, and JavaScript will be muscles. So HTML is the skeleton, what kind of how high the person is, or how high the person is, I don't know. CSS will tell what color is his or her eyes, or that person's eyes, hair color. I don't know. What else? I don't know. Maybe race for sure. Race for sure. And the JavaScript are basically the muscles. The body should be functioning, right? So that kind of the saying. So let's get started. So the very first thing that we want to start, or the very first thing that we will be working with, will be HTML. We start with simple HTML. HTML is actually acronym for hypertext markup language. You don't need to remember that kind of stuff. And to be honest with you guys, I myself didn't learn it from the first, once I read it, I didn't learn it by heart right away. So it's okay to keep that in mind that, HTML is just I don't know, a markup language, hypertext markup language. It consists of HTML elements, just like the bones in the skeleton, right? Every HTML looks like, or doesn't look like. Let me show you an example of the HTML. For example, the very first HTML tag, it's also called a tag. This is how it looks like. So it does have like an opening tag. So lowercase, or let's say less sign, then the combination of two letters or two characters, H1, and then greater sign. So this combination is called opening tag. This combination with slash, the same exact thing, but with slash, is called closing tag. So HTML is consists of not every HTML element, but let's say most of them. They consist of opening tag and the closing tag. And once I put h1 over here, I declare my start over here, and then I finish here with slash h1. So what I can put inside? Inside, I can say, for example, Stan Kim. Let's do my first name. The first and the last name. So Stan Kim, right? This is what you see. And the question is, what will happen if right after it, you will do the same exact, for example, text, Stan Kim. So what's the difference between this guy over here and this guy over here from your perspective, guys? Please help me.
One's in bold, the top one's in bold, and the bottom one is a smaller font that's not in bold.
A smaller font. I do agree with you. So how does the browser, let's say the browser in this case, understand that I have to make, for example, this part in bold and in, like, let's say way bigger than this one? It's just because I use the code as HTML over here. So I created a heading. It's actually stands for the heading. H1 should be the biggest heading. H1 defines the biggest heading. Then inside, I will just put wherever I want, and whatever I put will be displayed on the screen. And the browser should understand that this, or whatever I put inside H1, will be the heading. That means it should be in bold and in bigger text. If I just do regular text over here, this is how the regular text looks like. But in HTML, every single, let's say, a letter, character should be placed inside the HTML element. So this good, this not good. Good? Questions?
This must be inside the body.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you, but we will come to the body a little bit later. As for right now, we will be mostly focusing on the HTML text. But once we do like more complicated stuff on the course, for sure, I will tell you what's outside, of this sandbox. But yeah, by default, we don't have to create body over here. And yes, you're right. It should be in the body. Questions so far? No?
H1 is, maybe I'm not correct, but H1, it's mean that the header one, the first header in this site or in
Exactly.
page.
Exactly. Yes, that's correct. Header one or heading one. And if I'm not mistaken, according to the HTML documentation, there can be only one H1 on the web page. You cannot just, spam your web page with a lot of, hold on, with a lot of H1s. Oops, sorry. This is not good. There might be only one H1, but not everybody is following this rule, and I myself not following this rule. Like, no harm for us. We can create as many headings as we want. Good. So the question, or the next question, might be, if there is like H1, if there is a H2 or H3, H4, H5, and 6. Yes, there are. So let me just actually, instead of H1, I will do here H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. So what guys have been changed from your perspective? What do you see on your screen right now?
Font size.
Yeah, the size becomes smaller and smaller, right? With every number that I'm like, with increasing the number, the size decreases, right?
Yes.
So H1 or your heading will become smaller and smaller. And it actually depends on you what kind of the headings or header you are using. So it's good to know there are overall 6 headings. H1 is the biggest one, H6 is the smallest one. All you need to know about the headings in HTML for right now. Good. Let's proceed. Right now, I think that our web page looks a little bit plain, right? So I want to add some content on it, like, maybe an image, right? So what happens if I do add image? If I want to add image, there are basically a lot of ways, but the easiest one is to use tag img. Tag img by itself, it will be a little bit different from what we have over here, because the tag img doesn't have a closing tag. What does it mean? It doesn't have a closing pair img.
It's
This is,
self-closing?
yeah, it's self-closing. Those tags that do not have a closing pair are called self-closing tags. Good. Now let's proceed. So here in this case, what important was, like, the heading itself, or let's say HTML element itself, and what we put inside, right, between the opening and the closing tag. But if you talk about the tag img, we can also add some extra instruction, or pass some extra details about the tag inside an opening tag. And those kind of the instructions in HTML are called attributes. If your opening tag have some extra information, that those kind of the information is called attributes, and you can add as many attributes as you want. We definitely are going to talk through the attributes once we start the course, but as for right now, the most important thing, all attributes have to be placed inside an opening tag. Good. Now let's talk about the details. What kind of the details we will be passing? The first detail will be src, and then equal sign, and then quotes, double quotes. After that, we will be putting the tag ILT, or not the tag, but attribute ILT, and then equal sign, and then double quotes. Now let's talk about the attributes. Here, if I want to pass an image, I want to, for example, I need to provide the link to this image, right? So how do I find the image? I just simply Google it. So I can just go to, for example, the Google here, it's right here, and then say putting image. So images, I don't know, maybe I personally like this one. Open in a new tab, I guess. No, open image in a new tab. Yeah, this one. So this is the image that I'm going to use. I'm going to drop it in our Slack channel, and I'm going to drop it again in our Google Meet over here. So now I'm going to drop it on my code pen inside the tag src. So if I paste it here, good. So this is how it looks like right now. So tag img, then I have the first attribute, which is src. Src, I believe it stands for the source. So basically you have to provide where your image is located on the website. How can you find it? And if you click on this image over here, you will be redirected to that specific image that we are using over here, right? So this is how we got this image on our web page. Sound looks good, right? Okay. Now let's talk about another portion of the information, which is ALT. ALT stands for the alternative name. Why do we need to use this attribute? Okay, this attribute is not required but highly recommended. There are basically two reasons for that. The reason number one, okay, let's talk about what it should have inside. Inside, we should be putting some text that should describe the image that we are showing or displaying on our web page. So inside, I will say coding image, or image with code, image with code, right? You see what we have inside. Now, why do we actually need this attribute? So what happens if I, for example, remove my tag not the tag, but attribute SCRC. If I remove it, you'll see that instead of this image, there is a small icon is being displayed over here. It's kind of broken. I believe so. Do you see that broken image over here? And next to it, you see the following text image with code. Do you see it, guys?
Yes.
Okay, good. So why we actually need to do so, or why we need the tag ALT? Do you have any thoughts on this one?
For people who have disabilities.
Exactly, yeah. So according to the US law, the people who do have disabilities, or let's say who are not able to observe the images and stuff, they should be able to see its content. That's why we want to add this attribute ALT. Another reason of adding this attribute ALT, it just say, let's say that one of your developers forgot to upload this image, right? And instead of this image, we should be displaying something, right? So instead of it, or the people who have bad internet connection, they won't be able to see all the images, right? And for those people as well, they need to know what kind of the image we want to display. That's why this attribute ALT is very important. We cannot omit it, or we cannot skip it. Good? I take it as yes, so let's proceed. So the next thing that we want to do, for example, we will be using heading H2. Heading H2, is it the smallest heading or the biggest heading? Who can help me? I forgot.
Second biggest.
Second biggest, that's correct. So here, for example, I will tell that I will be the GS helper, or I don't know, teacher. Teacher. So once I edit, you see this text is a little bit smaller than this one, right? So H2 head or header H2, the second biggest heading in HTML. Good. Now what we can do, let's add some text to it. For example, I will use tag P. Tag P stands for the paragraph. So we need to use tag P whenever we want to put some text, or let's say a lot of like a paragraph and stuff. That's why we want to use a tag P. Tag P stands for the paragraph. And here inside, I can put just simple some sort of information. For example, my contacts. Good. But as for right now, I see that, I do not like how it looks like. So how do I, for example, make the following text in italic? I should use the tag I. One of the easiest ways just to use tag I. Just for an example, we won't be doing it every single time, because there is another way on how to do it for sure. Tag I. Good. So my contacts, and as you can see now it's in italic, right? So this styling is different, is significantly different from this one, right? So my contacts. Good. Let's proceed. So right after it, I want to create another, for example, tag P over here. And I assume since I declared my contacts, I want to put some information like, let's say, phone number. And after the phone number, I would like to pass the following thing. For example, my phone number will be, I don't know, +1, then we'll say 665. I don't know, this one, for example. This is how my phone look like. But as for right now, I want to, for example, what should I do if I want to make phone number in bold, right? I can simply use tag B. So tag B over here, right? B, and that's it. So as you can see right now, the phone number became bold, my contacts is in italic. And let's say that I want to add the email information as well. What I can do simply copy and paste the previous line of code. But as you can see right now, the context, or let's say the content, is still is the same one, right? That means that I have to update my content. So instead of the phone number, I will just say email. And here I will just do regular email, and my email will be, I don't know, stan@gmail, or let's say at techstar.dev, for example. This is how my email will look like. So I have phone number, I have email, I have my, yeah, let's say job title, and I have my contacts so far, right? Is it hard for you guys, or it's easy breezy?
It's
It's
pretty.
good.
Go ahead.
Easy
My
peasy.
picture doesn't show.
Doesn't
I'm
show?
not- I don't know how to copy the picture into the,
Okay,
the
okay. Guys,
HTML. I've tried
no
it.
stress, no stress. We will do the following trick. Since I will just paste it here in our chat, what you can do, you can just simply copy and paste it. Okay.
Okay.
It should solve. I mean, the expected result should be the same. If you're struggling right after this lecture, you will be having, not right after, sorry, I lied. Shortly, or let's say hopefully today's morning or today's evening, you will be having the lecture recording. And I personally, according to my experience, every person understands with his or her pace, right? You know, the way how you catching the new material is different, right? Some of you may need more time, some of you may need, like, you know, maybe like a minute or two. I myself, like, unfortunately, I belong to the second group of people. So I suggest you just right after this lecture, or whenever you got a chance or free time and the video recording, just open the video recording and rewatch the video so that you can repeat every single step which I showed you today. It is very important to understand what's happening. I will go through the whole structure once again before the lecture ends. Okay, but now I want everybody to be on the same page. Feel free to ask any questions before I proceed to the next
Picture
step.
still doesn't show.
Say it again.
The picture still doesn't show. I copy pasted everything.
And doesn't
Everything's
work.
there.
Okay, let's
There you
try to
go.
have a look. Could you please share your screen? Was it Tina, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Show me a screen or show us your screen. Let's try to troubleshoot.
Check the quotes and check the this.
I copied everything that he sent.
It must be
Mm.
the pass must be quotes.
Or yeah, just let's just help Tina. Just share your screen, or in the Slack, I will just send another copy of it. You know, it should be okay if you copy it from the Slack. But anyways, what
That's what I did, but it,
maybe there is like something else. We don't know, right, guys? And we almost done. There are a couple of steps that I want to show you, and then we can proceed. What's the Slack channel? Oh man, that's my mistake. Have Arthur showed you the Slack? Yes or no? No,
He did.
he did.
Yes.
Okay, he did yesterday. Okay, good. After the class, or after this lecture, for those who are interested in, I will definitely show you what the Slack is. As for right now, it's just like, let's say, a place or our social platform where we share the information and where we communicate. On my daily job, we do all the communication through Slack. Okay, Tina, are you going to share us your screen?
it worked. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay, it works now. Cool. No, you don't have to be sorry. The point is to, you know, to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Now, let's say we finally finished our beautiful website. Now we want to add some CSS. So CSS, cascading style sheet, and just an acronym. You don't have to remember it for the reference. So CSS will basically tell the user, or in this case, let's say browser, how our website should look like. So basically, we are adding some more information inside the CSS. So we will be using the CSS, which is the second window. Good here. For example, we can add some styling for this image, because I personally think that this image is a little bit too big for right now. Now we will be applying the CSS properties, or CSS properties, to the HTML elements. How do we do this? There are actually a couple of ways on how you can do it. The easiest way is just to type your tag that you want to that you want to apply your CSS on, tag img. That means that I'm going to do something with tag img. Once I finished writing the tag img, what I can do, I can simply add curly brackets. So this sign, if you're not familiar, it's called curly brackets. Inside the curly brackets, I should pass the CSS properties. So again, CSS properties, this is something that not every single person keeps that information in his or her mind. So that's, you basically Google it. If you are not like developing the websites on the daily basis, you won't be remembering every single CSS property. But I know
We
that.
do not see your screen.
Oh man, hold on. Oh man, thank you. Thank you for telling me, because I was like, telling all the whole story and wasn't presenting my screen. Cool now. Okay, now. Thank you very much. Thank you. So here we will be working in CSS. Not a big deal. So I put that img and then curly brackets over here. That means that I'm going to create some CSS properties and apply them for the tag img, which is presented right here. So whatever I pass here will be applied for this HTML element, the tag img. So the very first property that I want to use, because I personally think that this image is too big for right now, and what I should do, I will just say width, and then I should put colon, and after the colon, I should pass the size. The size of the images are basically, or usually, is presented in different ways, but today we will be learning pixels. Pixels is just like a small tiny dot on your screen, and it actually displays you some information. So width will be, let's say, 250 pixels. So this will be the first CSS property. So as you can see right now, the size of this image, or we decreased the size of this image by simply adding or the property width of 250 pixels. So as you can see, it's 250 pixels. It has 250 pixels width. Good. Now, for example, if I want to do some, let's say, roundings over here, I should add another CSS property. So it will be, for example, border radius, it will be, I don't know, 20 pixels. So if I add it here, you see now that I don't have those angles anymore. I have like a border radius right now, another image. So this is how we can simply manipulate with our image. So your question might be if there is any way that we can change our, for example, H1, H2, tag P, tag I, and tag B. For sure, there is a way. Let's update the tag H1. So for the H1, I will say that the color will be blue, for example, right? And if I do it, you see that the color of my header has been changed to the blue color, right? What else we can do? We can change the tag or the color of the tag P. So for example, here we'll say color, here it will be, I don't know, let's say red. Good. Now it's in red. Then we can take or change the color of the H2. H2. So here I should do color, and then I know, let's do gold. Gold. Now the GS teacher is in gold. Now, I don't know, after H, let's check, change the color of the tag B, for example. How should I do this? Can someone help me? How do I change this color for the phone and the email over here? What should I do? If you guys following, you should be able to answer. So the tag B.
The tag B must be
Mm-hmm. So B, then?
curly brackets,
Uh-huh. Okay, what's next?
color.
Okay, color. And then after the color?
We need what color you need.
Okay, what color do you prefer?
Let's say gray. No, green. Let's take green one.
Green. Okay,
Yep.
let's do green. And once we finished, highly advised to put semicolon. This sign over here, it's called semicolon, if you're not
Semicolon.
familiar.
Yeah, column.
Mhm. Good. And then what else we can do? If you want to change the color of the whole background, or let's say if I want to change my white color, I should type body, and then inside I will say color, and inside I will just say, oh, for example, not the color, but it will be background color. Background color. Background color will be I know, purple, maybe aqua. It's okay, I guess. Acceptable at least, right? So if you got stuck, those are the CSS properties that I used. I'm going to drop them on our Slack channel as well, and in our chat over here as well, so that everybody will see them. So if you just not following, that's okay, guys. This is something that you should do, or what you should have by the end of today's lecture. So as I promised, let's go through the structure again. HTML is our skeleton of our web page. CSS is skin. So HTML, for the HTML, the very first thing that we just did, we created the biggest heading, which is H1, right? Right after the heading H1, it has not all, but a lot of HTML elements have opening tag and the closing tag, opening tag and the closing tag, opening tag and the closing tag, opening tag and the closing tag. Then the next thing that we did, we created the tag img. Tag img stands for the image. Inside the tag img, we used, or we put two attributes. The attribute number one, strc, then equal sign, then double quotes. Double quotes, in double quotes, we basically put the address or the link to this image that we are using. In the tag alt, which is alternative name, we put the information about the image itself. What should it display in case of, like, let's say the people with disabilities, so that people with disabilities can see it, or people with slow internet also could see what kind of the image we are trying to display. Then we created the second, the biggest header, H2, and then put some content in it. So after that, we created the my context information. Then inside, we decided to do my context in italic, and in order to do it, we use the tag I. So the tag I also have an opening tag and the closing tag. So the tag P, then we create the tag P, and then inside, in order to make it bold, we use the tag B, and the same exact thing for the email as well. Right after it, we created, or we started working with our CSS. So there are basically couples of ways on how you can apply your CSS on your HTML. The easiest one is just to put in CSS the tag img, for example, and then inside the curly brackets, you will be basically passing the CSS properties like the width, border radius, then the color, and that was actually it. And for the body, if you want to change the background color for the whole web page, you want to pass the background color and then pass the color. For example, in our case, it was aqua. Good? Is it clear, guys?
Yeah, it's
Or-
clear.
Okay, do you
Yeah.
have any questions? Okay, I said it. Okay. Who have a question? Who has a question? Vladimir.
Yeah, I have a question. If we have more than one image and we define CSS style, how it knows to which image it belongs? Like if I'm setting the size, for example.
We have to add another attribute. For example, if I, you see, if I want to copy and paste the same exact image over here, you will see next to it, there is the same exact image, right? If I change, for example, its content, let's say if I put it to something else, where is it? Where did I take it from? For example, let's take this image. Oh, come on. This one, right? So let's try to use this one. Okay, here, so here. Yeah, so as you can see, the same exact properties were applied on this image. Why did it happen? It's just because we applied those CSS to every single image that will be displayed on our website. But I don't want to overwhelm you with information. And if you want to, for example, to pass a different CSS properties to the different images, you want to create you want to add, for example, for this image, I don't know, the ID, either ID, and then say, or let's say class. Attribute class, equal sign, and say something, for example, image2, here space, and here you will have to do the same for this image as well. So class, let's say, yeah, image one. Good. So here, this one will be applied. The syntaxes will be different. Image one, and here I will do. Oops, sorry. Image one. Good. Now I want to create CSS properties for the image two. Here we'll say, I don't know, width will be 200 pixels and the height will be 300 pixels as well. Yeah, image two, and this is how I can manipulate with those values. So as you can see, I had to add another attribute. It's called class. So class image one, and the syntaxes will be slightly different. If I created a class, I want to put some dot over here. Do you see it, Vladimir? And
Yes.
dot over here. So that means that, those CSS properties that you see right here will be applied for the images, for the all images with the same exact class name, image one. Here, or this CSS properties will be applied to the images with the class name image two. This is how you can do it.
So class and ID they do the same thing, right?
Class and ID, yeah, you can do it, but I don't want to overwhelm your head with those kind of the complicated stuff right from the beginning, okay? Yeah, but they do the same, but they are different. There is only one ID which can be presented on the web page, and you can create as many classes as you want. This is the main difference if you want
Okay,
to ask about
thank
this
you.
one. Okay, so again, it's not for those. I don't want to overwhelm you guys with that kind of information. So I believe that was unnecessary for us. So I will do here. So this is how the web page should look like for right now. And don't think about those IDs in class for right now. If we just started, the tag img, what we have to do, type img and then pass the following CSS properties. And that would be it. Good? Any questions? Maybe any other questions? Okay, if you don't have any questions, guys, I do have a question for you. So what is your homework, right? So I want to check how good you understand the homework, but before proceeding, let me show you one thing. I want to go to my code pens real quick, and I will be just okay, yes, just a second. Just give me a second. Should be over here. Oops, not this one. Okay, yeah, this one. Should be this one. Okay, so let me take a screenshot of it. So going to copy it and paste it, save it. So if you go to our Slack channel, you will be able to see the image over there. So I'm going to share my screen again, once again. So I'm going to share it. So if you go to our Slack channel, you will be able to see it. Oops, not this one. Let me remove it. Okay, delete image. Yeah, delete it. So you have to create something like this. So I will just take a screenshot of it. Copy and paste it here. Yeah. This is how your homework should look like. So you basically have to create your card. Tell me where you're from, what city do you live in. For example, this is just an example because I'm don't live in Los Angeles. I do live in Mountain View, which is actually in the Bay Area. But feel free to tell me about your city, or maybe if you do not feel comfortable about sharing the city that you live in, you can just simply say what city do you like, or what city you would like to move in, like maybe New York or Los Angeles, or I don't know, maybe San Francisco, or maybe Tokyo or Vienna, Frankfurt, wherever. Guys, tell me about your favorite city, and you have to complete or try to, or let's say mimic, try to create or recreate the same exact image. So in this case, we just use a Los Angeles. Try to tell me about your favorite city. About the styling, try to create at least one, as you can see, use italic HTML element, then something in bold, and try to play with the colors. And don't forget about adding the image. Those three components are a must. Everything else is just upon you. Now, the next question, how to submit your homework. In order to submit the homework, it's very easy. Hold on, let me come back to my previous. Your work, if I, for example, click on this guy over here, how can I can make sure that I save it. And once I clicked on the save button, I just select this link over here from the top. I press Ctrl C, or you can select the following text and just copy the link. Right after it, you click on the reply in thread. And then in reply in thread, you will just simply paste your code pen. And if you do so, you will be getting the link. So in this case, this is how you can find your classwork. So you just simply click on this link, bam, and this is it. So all the information is already being displayed. You don't have to save it because we enabled autosave, and everything should be accessible for you. Okay, now, do you have any questions?
Can you share the Slack channel when you get a chance?
Slack channel, it should be free 10. Okay, yeah, I will share with you once. Yeah, let me finish something and I will share it with you, definitely. Oh, hold on, actually. Copy link. Yeah, I will just simply copy link to this Slack channel. Does it work for you?
I don't see it in the messages yet.
Here.
Yep, it works. Thank you.
Okay, good. So again, for those who are not familiar with the Slack is basically the tool or the platform. We use it for communication, not only here, but on my daily job as well. So that means that if you work in IT, most likely you will be using Slack. Slack is like, very useful tool. What we need, you have to focus on as you can see, I do have like bunch of channels over here. What you have to do is just to make sure that you are under free 10 channel. So this is basically where you can find all the information about the free course, maybe homeworks. Feel free to ask your questions over here. People here, I cannot guarantee it, but they must be friendly. I myself personally, I'm a friendly person. I will try to help you if you come across situation where you need some certain answers, or definitely reach out to Arthur. I believe you met him yesterday. Reached out to this person. He should help you as well. I am more responsible for JavaScript. Arthur is more responsible for, let's say, more common questions like, what do we do in QA course? What do we do specifically in automation maybe course? What do we do if there is any chance that we may apply for the front end course as well? So maybe like the more common stuff. And here we will be, or you should be sharing your homework. If you decide to take our course, guys, I would be personally very happy that I will be the one who will be showing you everything. And on top of it, if you complete all of your homeworks, I believe you should be getting a discount, just a small peek for you. So if you are considering our courses, make sure you complete your homework so that you can get a discount. So that's it for today, guys. I believe it was a little bit, maybe a lot for some of you, but this is how the process looks like. Maybe the topics will be different, but it was an honor for me and a great pleasure. I'm delighted to see all of you guys, meet all of you guys. So hopefully I'll see you on my next lectures or maybe in my main course. And for the next lecture, I will show you some JavaScript functionalities, like we can do some extra stuff with JavaScript. And for sure, I will maybe get you familiar with our main project. Good. So with that being said, I wish you the good rest of your day, guys. Enjoy. Stay safe, guys.
Awesome.
Goodbye.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yep. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Have a great night.
Thank you.